This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore.
I've talked at length about the mission to rehabilitate Marjorie Taylor Greene's persona, her reputation as a politician. And there were programs on Fox News and, of course, across the conservative media sphere that had her on all the time and treated her like a legitimate political figure, someone to go to for counsel about the day's events, about policy, serious, real-world things. There were those. But a few on Fox News didn't really want anything to do with her because they knew, like we know, and like the world knows if you watched anything about Marjorie Taylor Greene, that she is a nut. She is insane. And I don't mean insane clinically, I just mean she's batty. She believes in wacky conspiracy theories. Not just that Jews have a laser in some satellite in space to fire lasers down onto California and cause forest fires. Not just that the water's turning the frogs gay. I mean, this goes to Alex Jones and beyond Alex Jones. She believes that Q is a patriot. We know that for sure, but we don't know who Q is. She equated wearing a mask to Jews being forced to wear a Star of David during the Holocaust. She's a vile, sinister conspiracy theorist. She didn't believe that certain school shootings happened, that they were false flags. It really is a bit much. And then she got elected to Congress. And she was removed from her committees from all kinds of racism and insanity that she posted on her Facebook and across social media. She was removed from her committees because of this. But today I really want to talk about how this effort to rehabilitate her has worked in the conservative arena. And I would hate to see the CNNs of the world and the MSNBCs of the world, the CBS News and the NBC News, I would hate to see them take a page from the Fox News playbook, and begin to have her on as a credible source reporting about what the goings-on in Congress are. And I think that's what we're going to see. First, I'm going to play this clip, let's see what it is here, of Hannity having her on. Hannity had her on. And then I'm going to play later, just to give you the rundown here, the roadmap of what we're going to be looking at. I'm going to play also Hannity from just a couple of years ago when she was removed from her committees, and he's outlining all of her misdeeds, all of her insane conspiracy theories and batshit crazy things she believes. So even Hannity knows. And because she's aligned with Kevin McCarthy and she's going to be on committees, now they're normalizing her nuttery. And then I'm going to play a mashup to remind everybody exactly who she is. She hasn't changed. She's just singing a different tune. She's the same musician, just whistling a different tune. First, here's Hannity with Marjorie Taylor Greene last night.
Here with reaction, Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene is with us. Congresswoman, good to see you. Thank you for being with us. He shouldn't be on the Intel Committee, nor should the congenital liar Adam Schiff be on the Intel Committee. That's not a difficult decision, is it?
No, not at all. And you can see there's a major difference in the leadership with Kevin McCarthy as Speaker of the House and Nancy Pelosi as Speaker of the House. Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats removed me from committees from things they didn't like on my Facebook years before I became a member of Congress. But you can see that Kevin McCarthy isn't being political. He's removing members of Congress that need to be removed. It's an embarrassment that Eric Swalwell had a sexual relationship with a CCP spy and then was serving on the Intel committee. It's unbelievable that that happened. And then we have Adam Schiff, how he has lied and lied to the American people and abused the American people's taxpayer dollars with his lies with the Russia hoax. He never deserved power on that committee, and he shouldn't have been on the January 6th committee either. So Kevin McCarthy, as Speaker of the House, is doing the right thing and removing these Democrat members that deserve to be removed. Ilhan Omar is another example. She's anti-Semitic and she should not be on foreign affairs. These aren't political things. These are the right things to do.
So this is all just gross. That she maligned being taken off committees. Well, I was elected and I should serve on committees. And now a completely set of things she's saying that, oh no, they're doing the right thing. Adam Schiff shouldn't be on committees. Eric Swalwell shouldn't be on committees. While lying and telling a conspiracy theory on the air on Fox News that Eric Swalwell slept with some Chinese spy. There was no sexual relationship at all. At all. It is a lie and a conspiracy theory that's being touted by the fringiest of the fringe on the right. Yet it went unchecked on Sean Hannity's show. Here is Sean Hannity from just years ago, when she was being taken off her committees, explaining all of the, well, not all, but many of the things that she believes, decrying it as inappropriate and disgusting, or whatever words he uses. Watch this.
Sorry, but we all know as a fact that a plane did hit the Pentagon and it was real. In fact, we lost a good friend of this show that day. You might remember Barbara Olson. She was on the plane. A terrorist crashed into the Pentagon. 2018, Taylor Greene apparently said that California wildfires were started by a space laser controlled by some kind of evil corporate cabal, which in my mind is not exactly true. And I have no earthly clue whatsoever what would cause someone to believe such a thing. Also recently disturbing, a video surfaced showing Taylor Greene chasing down and kind of berating a kid that survived the Parkland shooting, school shooting. He lost friends that day. And she accused him of being a trained actor. I'm sorry, I don't go there. I think kids are off the table. Poor kid had been through hell. The families who lost loved ones, they're all watching this. Adults, my view, I don't care whether you're Republican, Democrat, liberal, conservative. I think we leave the kids alone, and the people of this country are allowed to have different views. And frankly, it might surprise some of you. I actually am encouraged by any young people being engaged in the political process, regardless of whether they're a liberal or conservative. Remember Winston Churchill, if you're 20 and not a liberal, you don't have a heart. If you're 40 and not a conservative, you don't have a brain. Okay, so you hope there's an evolution, but the interest is key to have more representation and a better, well-informed electorate. Now, from my perspective, there's not a single conservative I know that shares those conspiratorial beliefs or supports the action confronting young people, claiming that a school shooting that happened didn't happen. I don't know a single conservative or a single Republican, frankly, that even knows what QAnon even is, let alone buys into whatever those beliefs are. But keep this in mind. Marjorie Taylor Greene has little power in the House of Representatives. But
so he knew. Sean Hannity knew and knows who she is. It doesn't, you don't change. Listen, when she says, oh, they took me off my committees for social media posts from years ago, years before I was in Congress, Donald Trump was president. In fact, you're gonna see she's using Donald Trump language about draining the swamp. All of these took place while Trump was president. It wasn't years ago, like 20 years ago. She might as well say months ago. You don't change, you don't flip on a dime. Even my political conversion took years over the course of decades. I was Republican 20-some years ago. It doesn't happen overnight. You don't shed the vestiges of conspiracism that quickly. And if you do, you don't have any business in Congress because you're not a critical thinker. Well, you're not a critical thinker anyway. But if you're able to flip that quickly, changing one's mind is laudable. But it has to happen genuinely, not just for show, not just for the cameras. So what you're getting ready to watch is who she is still. And they're normalizing her by putting her on Hannity and making the rounds in the media, asking her about what's to come in Congress.
Q is a patriot. We know that for sure, but we do not know who Q is, okay? So now the question is, I'm going to talk about this, and I'm going to tell you I don't know who Q is, but I'm just going to tell you about it because I think it's something worth listening to and paying attention to. And we have the open borders. Oh, open borders. MS-13, everyone. Under Obama came MS-13. There's a lot to that. You have to understand. They had very good relationships with MS-13. MS-13 was basically like, they were kind of the henchmen of the Obama administration. They did a lot of the dirty work. Seth Rich was murdered by 2 MS-13 gang members. That's what I mean by dirty work, okay? Now, Q has put out there that many high-level officials will soon be arrested, and it will actually be the drain the swamp scenario that we have always been wanting to happen. He says that once the corruption and the type of corruption is revealed to the American people, it will trigger something he calls the awakening. Hillary decides to launch her political career. It's time for her to enter because, you know, she's being lined up. She's the next one in place, the deep state. They choose who their candidates are. They choose who they want to put in place. And Hillary, it was finally her turn. She was supposed to be the first female president of the United States. So she has to run for Senate, right? So she runs for Senate in New York City. Okay. So she becomes senator in New York City, and yes, I could dive into Kennedy getting killed in the plane crash because isn't it interesting that he had announced he was going to run for Senate just before he died in a mysterious plane crash. But anyway, so that's another one of those Clinton murders, right? And it will be a type of corruption. Now, what type of corruption would it be? I mean, is it going to be the stuff that's rumored? The things that people don't want to talk about, the things that people don't want to think about? I mean, is it going to be true that the child pedophilia in the elites in the Washington, D.C., is that what we're really going to see come out? Is it true? Is the type of corruption we're going to see come out, is it going to be satanic worship that possibly all these people are involved in? I mean, we already saw there was an email came out of the WikiLeaks emails where Cheryl Moles, and she told Hillary Clinton in an email that she was going to sacrifice a chicken to Moloch in her backyard. Who says that kind of stuff? Like, nobody says that. But that was proof right there that there's possible satanic worship, and maybe that all these scary things that people talk about on what's considered conspiracy sites and conspiracy theories really may be true. And this is an important time in our history. We can't allow this just to be gone, just to let it go. You can't allow it to just transfer power peacefully like Joe Biden wants and allow him to become our president, because he did not win this election. It's being stolen and the evidence is there.
So look, it's a scary time in America, obviously. And as we get closer to 2024, it's going to get worse because people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who are now normalized in conservative media, are going to be doing their damnedest to make Fox News sound bites while in committee. They're going to be putting on a circus act that the cameras will catch, and then it'll go viral on social media, because that is her entire job. That is her intent in life. Her and Lauren Boebert and the rest of these idiots, they want to create a viral moment. They don't want to govern. Look, leave the viral creation to goofballs like me, whose job is YouTube. Your job is Congress. Your job is legislating to make the lives of Americans better. Maybe I'm just a cynic. What do you think? I'd love to know. You can mix it up in the comments. I'd love to see you there. You can also call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me, daily@dollemore.com. Follow me on social media. I'd love to see you there. I'm at Dollemore on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, at Dollemore. And if I do something for you that you appreciate, listen, if there's somebody else out there who does more for you than me, if whether that be a David Pakman, whether that be a Farron Cousins, or any of these types, those are good fellas. They're not types. Support those people. If I'm just an occasional, I'm bored, let's go see what that dumb shit has to say, then don't worry about it. But if I am your flavor of political commentator, please consider supporting my work. I would appreciate it very much. Click the join button, become a channel member for $2 a month, or go over to my Patreon page, patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. Both those are great ways to help support the channel. I love you guys. I appreciate you. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.